Yeah, there is some. So, anybody want any, are we objecting, not objecting, making any comments about the retention of the historic features?
Yeah, I think if you do it successfully to the building, rather than lose, you can lose.
No objection, but
Staying the same, don't you?
yeah,
Yeah.
okay.
Not very useful.
Okay, now, there is a public question time coming up, but having gone through the planning portal this morning, there are 4 other items that I'd like to bring up under any other business first, and I will come back to public question time, because it just then completes this Operation Catch-up that we've played in the last 2 meetings, if that makes sense. Many of you may have seen for sale sign on the Red Lion at the bottom of Hollow Lane. There's a planning application in for that, which has been withdrawn as invalid to change it into 2 dwellings. That was withdrawn, and now the for sale or to let sign has gone on the premises. It's owned, the planning application, it's in the public domain, is owned by James Collin, who lives in Richmond in Middlesex. His full address is on the planning application. But other than that, the for sale sign, that's a building that's obviously of interest in the village as well, but it looks as if it's going under the...
It's you've got a let on as well. So
Yeah, it's for sale and to let, yeah. Anyway, the next one I'll draw reference to is SMD 2024. This is a bit of Operation Catch-up. 0555. This came before the planning committee previously, and we objected because this is my footpath, 32A, goes right the way through this, but this is now being approved. But with a caveat, as a consequence of the council's objection to the footpath, that the developer must apply under the Town and Country Planning Act to divert the public rights of way to allow the development to commence. So the links to DEFRA's rights of way and a guidance form to the council's rights of way team has been put on this approval. But this was Cockett, Basford Green Road. But as I say, it's a portal frame agricultural building that has now been approved, but with the condition that the footpath needs to be diverted before they commence any works on it.
Could you clarify where that is? It doesn't ring any bells.
I did look it up, but I can't remember. Basford Green Road.
Basford Green Road.
Yeah, Basford Green Road it is. I did look it on the map and I can't better
Oakstone
explain.
Farm.
Cockett.
No, it says Cockett, Cocket.
Somewhere.
And it was a portal frame agricultural building. It came before us in September of 2024. We commented about the footpath. And it was just because it's actually come in this week's results list as a decision for approval that I thought I'd make mention of it.
So they put a condition on it, don't they, for the footpath?
But the condition is that the footpath must be divert the public rights of way to allow the development to commence. So the footpath's got to be rerouted before they can put this building in. Yes, well that's why I brought it up. Yeah. The next one, I don't know if you can see this, but this is this crept in, and I've been checking these portal things regularly, but this is DOC 2025-0091. It's a discharge of conditions 15/19/22 and 22, sorry, of a planning application way back in 2022. But the public consultation on this ends on the 11th of December. But it's the land adjacent to Sellerhead substation, Brownell Road, Wetley Rocks. Sirius Renewable Planning are the agents.
Do you know what the conditions are?
Yes. Hang on, I have to. This is keeping me
The
fit
one
tonight.
that's in the field where the lower level pylons drop down into the substation. The second.
On home farm land.
So,
It's the second one that got approved.
but we've got, it's the one with the bungs, is it?
It's the one that's immediately east of the transformer station on the field where the pylons lowered to come into the transformer station, and it's on the field which forms part of home farm.
So
Turner's farm.
there's concerns about the spoil, volume, access, number of HGVs, vulnerable road users, noise, dust, lighting, etc. It goes on.
Well, I
But
would-
this has just crept in out of nowhere this week, and it was not on when I prepared the agenda last week. It was not on the planning portal.
Chair, if I may
And-
just add something whilst it's pertinent, I realise that
Yeah,
as a member
of
of the
course.
public, I'm not supposed to speak at this point, but the approved access is to that site is from the National Grid private road, but there is a secondary entrance which is a farm track which leads from the bend of Brownell Road immediately opposite my entrance, which
that-
in recent weeks has been very frequently used, and it's on a dangerous blind bend.
The
And
car's just lost control and gone in.
last week a car went
Yeah, the white car.
on the other side of the blind bend, and I'm concerned about the amount of vehicles that are going down that farm track and reversing out without a bounce back. So really the only access that is approved is on the National Grid private road. That's,
Yeah.
to my mind, where it should be restricted.
Right. Are we happy if we make complaints along the lines of traffic, noise, dust, dirt on the road, and all the other, soil, where's it going, etc., etc., etc.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Oh,
It's on a lifestyle, isn't it?
Yeah,
Huge amount.
and it's a lot of truck
Truck
journeys.
days, yeah,
Yeah.
massive.
It's a lot of seven.
Okay, so there is one more. Again, for just playing Operation Catch Up to top and tail this one. 37 Heath Avenue, Sellerhead. It was a change to an original design. This is a non-material amendment 2025-0021. This was for a delegated decision. It was basically concerning a planning application 0096, which we did make no comment on. At the time, there was no neighbour, contest, and it was sort of in keeping in that little estate that's the back of Moorside. But basically, the non-material amendment's been refused on the basis of the design, the height, the proposed side extension, roof form. It's not considered appropriate because of the visual impact, and the hipped gable roof will not be characteristic with the rest of the dwelling or the wider street scene. So that one has actually been refused. But it did come through this committee previously as 0096. But that's just an update on that one. Any questions on that before I open the floor to public questions?
Yes, Chair. Good evening.
Good evening, councillors and colleagues.
I came this evening prepared to ask Councillor Poynton a question, and I didn't hear any apologies from him this evening. I presume he hasn't resigned.
Councillor Poynton isn't on this committee.
He was on the planning committee before,
He's not on the planning committee at the moment. He's on full council. But
so
not
he's
on-
resigned. Is it? Because he has been present for all previous planning meetings.
No,
He
he-
wasn't put on it, he can go on
No,
it
he,
earlier May.
reference what I opened the meeting with. He's not
Okay,
on planning.
There's some confusion then on that matter.
What is it?
All I wish to say is I want, and perhaps the chair could ask the question of the councillor, as to whether there's any length that's been determined for my punishment, or is it indeed an end-of-life sentence that I'm subjected to at Rownell with regard to 100 bales stacked against my curtilage and a HGV curtain-sided trailer, which one side of the curtain...
Chair, can I just stop you there, Chair? You can ask him yourself, we'll be here about 4 days.
I would prefer to go
Oh, right,
recorded,
okay.
if you don't mind,
Yeah, okay.
and I prefer the public to hear the situation,
They are.
Ah.
because,
They are.
fine, well, I'll ask the gentleman the question.
Would you like to repeat the
I will certainly.
Councillor Poynton, you've come in at an opportune time. I appreciate you're not part of this committee, but if you wish to sit comfortably to hear the question.
My question to Councillor Poynton is whether my punishment is likely to come to an end, or whether it's an end-of-life sentence that I'm subjected to.
Is that the question, yeah?
That's the question, yeah?
Yeah, I have to ask the tenant farmer. No problem.
So the tenant farmer is responsible, is he, for the punishment?
Well, I'll have to
that
find
I'm
out for you.
subjected
I'll
to?
find out and let you know.
Because
Yeah.
you did invite me to a meeting where you mentioned this subject, and you mentioned the conditions that appertain to the situation.
Yeah.
I would just add that in the recent Claudia storm, one side of this curtain is broken free and is banging against the metal chassis of the HGV tender. And as my bedroom is only 10 feet from this curtain-sided HGV trailer, I'm having the greatest difficulty sleeping. I also would like to point out that I am now in the advanced state of prostate cancer. I'm undergoing radiotherapy in the new year, and I've just been diagnosed with stage 2 diabetes.
Oh, God.
Thank you very much.
Thank you, Mr. Putnam. I think I would ask, on behalf of this planning committee, that we identify an answer, an appropriate answer, to whether or not these items can be removed.
Yeah, no problem at all. Leave it with me. I'll
Yeah,
look into it.
I would appreciate that
No problem.
very much. If you could you come back to me as well, Councillor Poynton? So
Yeah,
at
no
the
problem.
same time.
Yeah.
Thank you. We have it is public question time.
Thank you. Just in response about the bales, my husband spoke to the tenant farmer, we believe, and they don't know any knowledge about the bales. Because I said, would it be mindful to actually move them as swiftly as possible? And they said, we don't know anything about it.
Well, I suggest we ask the estate manager for the landowners and all.
I think we do
Like I
get
said, it's a civil dispute, so I'll get an answer to you.
Well, it's a civil dispute if it is a civil dispute. If it's a case of threatening antisocial harassment, the police advised me that it's a very serious criminal matter, and the proceedings and consequences can be very dire.
Like I said, I'll get back to you very soon.
Thank you very much.
We'll look forward to it.
Yeah.
Thank you.
There is no dispute. I've never had a dispute with any neighbours in the 45 years I lived at Rowney. And it takes two to tango and two to make a dispute. And I'm not in dispute with anybody.
Thank you, Mr. Putnam. Thank you. Does anybody else have any other public question? Public question?
I've got a question. Sorry, it's just going back to the agenda item for land adjacent to Wayfield House.
Oh, yeah.
Will that go to planning committee?
Yes, it will.
It will.
Yes, it
Thank you.
Any other questions? Councillor Harvey?
Question for me as a resident.
Absolutely.
Thank you. I've enjoyed the.
Sorry you can't read it though. We need to be in a room where I can dim the
I've
light.
not enjoyed the sight of it because I can't see. And obviously, some time now, some years now, I've been asking why we can't in fact operate it in a way that can be seen by people. We could always put chairs in rows if we get enough of us. When we like a cinema. But in the cinema, of course, you can see it and you can see the writing and everything else. It's because they've got the right equipment. Will the council be considering getting the right equipment so as we can come into this century in terms of operating communication by this method?
Thank you very much for that. I will put that to full council, but at the same time I'll bring a TV screen down with me next time. Now I know, I thought we could dim the lights. Hey ho, I tried, I've done my best. Yeah? Thank you. Any other matters for the public? May I thank you all for coming, and the next meeting is on the 16th of December at Wetley Rocks Village Hall in Mill Lane. So I'll close the meeting.